Well, greetings race fans, and guess what? The month of June is a-comin', and you know what that means. It's time to bring out this hat. Because I will be doing some Pride Month related videos, and just like one-up films, I also intend on defending Pride Month. But anyways, let's get on with the race reviews themselves. And let's start with the 2024 Monaco Grand Prix, the only 3 of the races that went by without any issues. And guess what? Guess who was on pole? It was not Max Verstappen this time around. It was Charles Leclerc. Yeah, Charles Leclerc. A Ferrari driver. And he was in a battle with Oscar Piastri. Yeah, the name does sound Spanish or Argentinian, but don't be fooled. He's actually an Australian. And yeah, it was one heck of a race. It was a battle between McLaren and Ferrari. The classic McLaren versus Ferrari battle. And it's also the second time this year that Ferrari has won a race. And it's always great to see someone other than Max Verstappen win a race. And yeah, so Charles Leclerc, who started on pole, won the race, which is ironic. And I think he actually led the most laps. Because, you know, the Formula 1 cars are big and it's hard to find any opportunities to pass nowadays. Which is why some people think that the Formula E race is more exciting because smaller cars and more overtaking opportunities. But anyways, it looked like that Oscar Piastri had this race in the bag. It looked like that he was going to pass Charles Leclerc, but nope. Even DRS didn't help him out. And he went further back, and he had to defend his second place podium position against a charging Carlos Sainz. Yeah, Carlos Sainz Jr. to be more precise. And it's kind of reminiscent of Denny Hamlin having to defend his position against Kyle Larson. And in both instances, Oscar Piastri actually defended against Carlos Sainz Jr. And I gotta be honest here, the McLaren Formula 1 cars that they have, I'll show you a picture right now. See, look. They actually look better, in my opinion, than the Ferraris. And it's actually a tribute to Ayrton Senna himself. Good job, McLaren. You paid tribute to the best driver that you had. And that is how you make a special paint scheme. But anyways, what do I think about the 2024 Monaco Grand Prix? Yeah, because there are little overtaking opportunities due to how big the cars are, there's little opportunities to pass without damaging the car, but the race itself was great. It was exciting. And we actually got to see Logan Sargent not crash his car for once. Yeah, Logan Sargent, the only American driver on the grid. Hopefully Kyle Larson will make it to Formula 1. And probably make him look bad. But Logan Sargent Logan Sargent's not that great to begin with. Yeah, he might be American, but he has yet to win a Formula 1 race. But anyways, I'm giving the 2024 Monaco Grand Prix a 9 out of 10. A 9 out of 10. It is a classic Monaco Grand Prix race. And a classic battle between McLaren and Ferrari. And had Oscar Piastri found the opportunity to overtake, he would have won this race against Charles Leclerc. But it was still great to see Charles Leclerc win a race in his own country, in Monaco. Now that's awesome. That is as awesome as Ayrton Senna's win in the Brazilian Grand Prix because he was Brazilian. Yeah, sad he sad he got killed during a crash in Imola though. Yeah, rest in peace, Ayrton Senna. You might be gone, but you will be remembered as one of the greatest drivers of all time. And nobody could really replace you. And that is why McLaren paid tribute to your famous helmet. But anyways, the 2024 Monaco Grand Prix was actually fun to watch. And no rain delays, unlike the next race I'm going to be talking about, which is the 2024 Indy 500. So let's go. So, if you haven't known already, the 2024 Indy 500 was marred by a rain delay. Yeah, there was a huge storm going around in Indianapolis. It was like a monster storm with heavy rain, wind, and lightning. It's like a six-demon box. And the fans were told to take shelter. Ironically enough, the news person said that an RV won't protect you, even though some RVs are basically metal shells with rubber tires, which rubber always reflects electricity. But when the rain was over, the race was started, although it took a long time. And this is a race where Kyle Larson actually showed his prowess. Kyle Larson wanted to prioritize the Indy 500 over the Coca-Cola 600 and got Justin Allgaier to drive his car for the Coke 600 until he arrived. That was the plan, at least. So yeah, it was the first time that Kyle Larson participated in the IndyCar series, and hopefully he'll return the next year. And it looked like that he was going to win, as late into the race, he was on the lead lap. But then speeding penalties happened and he was pushed back. However, he did finish a lot better than Robbie Gordon's first double attempt. He finished in 18th place. It's not bad for a rookie, but you can tell that if he tried this double again, he would probably do better the next year. And yeah, Kyle Larson is the kind of guy that if he gets in a race car, he will take that race car to victory, or at least do well in it. And that's what people like about him. Kyle Larson is a rare talent. He races in pretty much anything. Dirt midgets, stock cars, and now he's racing in Indy cars, and hopefully in the future he'll race in Formula 1. But anyways, the highlight of the race is late into the race where Pato O'Ward and Joseph Newgarden was battling for the lead and the win. It was Joseph Newgarden against Pato O'Ward. Yeah, you know that driver that Tim Cindric tried to make look. You know that driver that Tim Cindric nearly ruined his reputation, and yeah, Tim Cindric tried to ruin Joseph Newgarden's reputation. Thankfully, he was suspended from Team Penske, not Joseph Newgarden, Tim Cindric, because of the push-to-pass controversy. So yeah, once you have Joseph Newgarden out of the controversy, he's actually pretty good, and he deserves to be away from the sneaky Tim Cindric. Yeah, so Joseph Newgarden and Pato O'Ward were battling for the lead, and it was a drafting battle, and it was really exciting, and it's a classic IndyCar battle, and Joseph Newgarden ended up winning the race. And that meant that Pato O'Ward got his victory taken away from him for the second time in a row, or third. Yeah, it's sad that Pato O'Ward didn't win, but Joseph Newgarden still got his second ever Indy 500 win, and this is the first time this has happened since years. But anyways, after Kyle Larson finished 18th, he went to the Coca-Cola 600, which turned out to be, well, not the worst Coca-Cola 600, but disappointing. But anyways, how do I rank the 2024 Indy 500? Even with Mother Nature messing around the race, it still gets a 9 out of 10 because we got to see some excellent action on the track. It was well worth the rain delay. But anyways, on to the Coca-Cola 600. So yeah, this isn't the first time that the Coca-Cola 600 got called due to rain. The first was in 2009, where David Rudiman won the race because it was raining. Yeah, they called it, well, it was in the middle of the race itself. I think it was 229 laps in where they called the race. But anyways, the Coca-Cola 600 was a disappointment as Kyle Larson was expected to take Justin Allgaier's place, but never did so. Sadly, it's happened. Yeah. It was disappointing that he didn't get to race in his own car, but at least he isn't like Davy Jones. Yeah, that guy who shares the name with an urban legend who didn't even qualify for the 1995 Coca-Cola 600, and his car never got to see the race. At least Kyle Larson's car got to see the race with Justin Allgaier behind the wheel, and he actually did better in the Cup Series cars than when he previously did, because these cars, these newer next-gen cars, have less horsepower and they're a lot more tolerable to drive than the 900 horsepower era where they were nearly uncontrollable. And that meant that Justin Allgaier was pretty good with operating the car, but the most disappointing thing about the race is that even though there was some really good action, as with the case of many intermediate tracks, and you got to see some awesome track action, it was also marred by a rainout, and they called the race. Yes, they called the race because they couldn't dry the track due to high humidity and the fact that, yeah, this really bites me. They didn't want to wait and they didn't want to have the race run through midnight, which is another big L with Fox newscasting programs, well, the Fox broadcasting programs, and another big L with the NASCAR officials. Because, guess what? Black Flags Matter actually asked on Twitter, aka X, if NASCAR fans want to see the race for midnight, and they said yes. A lot of them said yes. So there you go. Sometimes NASCAR makes decisions that don't make a lot of sense, but are understandable nonetheless. So yeah, that meant that Christopher Bell, who won the second stage, had to take home the win. Second time this has happened since David Rudimann's win, and ironically enough, it's also in a Toyota. Yeah, so the race was anticlimactic. The finish was anticlimactic, as it was like the 2009 Coca-Cola 600, but it had more racing action. Yeah, it was a letdown to many because of the rain out. But well, at least he'll get another try next year. Hopefully Kyle Larson will do it next year. And this really brings me to a point of discussion. How many times have the Coca-Cola 600 been called due to rain? Well, it happened 2 times. Like I said before, it happened in the 2009 Coca-Cola 600 where it was called due to rain and David Rudiman won, and then it happened again with Christopher Bell winning. So yeah, hopefully the next race, the Gateway race, would be better. But it was really disappointing for a crowd Drew Weiss, and it gets a 7 out of 10 for this reason. Or 6.5 if you go by decibels. It was good, but it could have been better had weather not been a factor. And everyone knows that. And keep in mind, not everyone who attempts the double is perfect on their first go. As I said before, Robbie Gordon didn't do really well in his first double attempt, and barely finished both races. And Tony Stewart's first double attempt wasn't perfect, but later on he managed to complete all 1,100 miles with the 2 races that he was entered. So hopefully Kyle Larson will attempt the double next year. I am looking forward to seeing him race in both races next year, and hopefully he'll take the waiver for the next race. I'm hoping that Hendrick Motorsports submits a waiver for missing out on 1 race. So yeah, the Coca-Cola 600 had been an unfortunate tale of the race being rained out, and Mother Nature decided to screw around things. But at least we still got to see the race and still got to see Justin Allgaier drive the number 5 HendrickCars.com Chevrolet, whereas Davy Jones didn't even qualify for the Coke 600. Yeah, it was a lot better than Davy Jones's double duty attempt. And he never raced in NASCAR again after that. And keep in mind, Davy Jones's double duty attempt was in an era where NASCAR didn't have the playoff system and waivers. So it was normal to have drivers fill in for another driver. And Jasper Motorsports probably wasn't even the best team to be around. That's the 2024 Coca-Cola 600. A huge letdown considering that the race had a lot of potential, but Mother Nature got in the way. Oh well, at least we can lighten the mood and rank the patriotic paint schemes and some of the more unique paint schemes for all 3 Charlotte races. So yeah. Unlike the other 2 tier lists, I decided to bring them in all well, in a single tier list, just so I can save myself some time in the video itself. So, let's go! Alrighty, so here we go. Starting with number 1, Ross Chastain's patriotic paint scheme. Yeah, it easily goes into the S tier. Yeah, it just screams America. Yeah! I can't say the F word, or else I'll get demonetized if I ever apply for the YouTube partner program, or it will defeat the purpose of the channel being kind of family friendly. The videos kind of being family friendly. Next up is number 2. Yeah, number 2 goes into the A tier, since in my opinion it doesn't look nearly as cool as Ross Chastain's car. But number 3, yeah, it just screams America even more than the number 2 one, so it's going into S tier. Although it's a low S tier since it's not nearly as cool as Ross Chastain's car in my opinion. Number 4, yeah, high A tier. It's the overstock paint scheme with a bit of patriotic flair. Although it is better in my opinion than the number 2 paint scheme. Alrighty, so I've got some trucks. But for now, let's take a break from the patriotic paint schemes and look at the double paint scheme, the one that Kyle Larson never got to race. Hopefully he'll get to do the double next year. But yeah, it's still going in S tier, because it's just an amazing paint scheme. A shame he never got to race it though. Press F to pay respects for Kyle Larson. Okay, so number 7 of Justin Allgaier, yeah, S tier. It is an amazing looking car. And it's actually reminiscent of the old World War II U.S. U.S. Air Corps. U.S. Army Air Corps planes. You know, I've played a lot of War Thunder and note that paint scheme used to be common with U.S. Army Air Corps, or Air Corps, planes. And it definitely does bring out the Flying Fortress. A shame he never won with it. Number 8, well, number 8 isn't here because he didn't bother running a patriotic paint scheme. But I did put the Xfinity Series car there, and there's not much patriotic about it, so it's going in the B tier. It still looks good, but there's not much patriotic about it. Okay, number 8. Number 9. Now this one is the Black Ops machine. Number 9 is going in the A tier. The S tier, I mean. Yeah, it's the Black Ops machine that Chase Elliott has. It looks really cool and would definitely pass as a stealth car. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the stealth cars in Gran Turismo 5. But anyways, let's move on to number 10, and yeah. It looks better than the other Stewart-Haas Racing patriotic paint schemes, so it's going in the S tier. Extra points for it being patriotic. Number 11, yeah, it's the number 11 Xfinity car, and yeah, there is an eagle on it, so it goes into the S tier for extra points, but it doesn't look like much. But you can't deny the fact that anything that has a freaking eagle on it always goes into the S tier. Yeah, anything that has an eagle on it always goes into the S tier. It just screams America, man. Yeah, I forgot about the number 5 Truck Series truck, and it's in, well, mid A tier. The black kind of ruins the whole patriotic vibe, but it still looks good. Yeah, it kind of ruins it a bit. Okay, so number 14, the Mahindra Tractor's car. It looks better in my opinion than the Overstock Ford, and it's going in high A tier. Okay, so now we're up to the number 15 of Rick Ware Racing. No, that's not Rick Ware Racing. I'm thinking of Colleague Racing. That is Rick Ware Racing. And yeah, it's mid A tier. The one from Colleague Racing, well, actually looks pretty good. Yeah, there's not much patriotic paint scheme there, but you can still see it. You can still see the red, white, and blue. It's not full-on patriotic or anything. Number 17, Chris Buescher's car. Yeah. It's another Black Ops car going in high S tier. Or mid S tier to be more precise. Yeah, I always like the Black Ops stuff cars in the Charlotte race because they kind of remind me of the Gran Turismo stuff cars. Anyways, on to number 15 in the Xfinity series, and yeah. There's not much Army related, but it's still going in high B tier. Yeah, it doesn't look like a complete U.S. Army Air Corps tribute or a complete Army tribute, but you can still see the Army green on it. Alrighty, so Martin Truex Jr.'s car, it's going in S tier. Easily one of the most patriotic paint schemes in my opinion, and the one that actually won. In my opinion, it's not nearly as good as Martin Truex's car, but it still goes in S tier for winning the rain-shortened race, even though the win was anticlimactic. Yeah, both paint schemes look equally impressive in my opinion. Yeah, and the number 21 Dex Engineering car also goes into the S tier. Okay, so we got the number 19 car and C tier, since there's not much, well, there's barely anything that's patriotic about it aside from the sponsor relating to an army. Yeah, and mid B tier for the number 21 Xfinity car. Yeah. But the number 07 car, S tier. Yeah, it just screams America. Anything that pulls off the red, white, and blue really well gets an S tier. Alright, so we got number 23, Bubba Wallace's car, and in my opinion, it's actually better than the Joe Gibbs efforts. It probably might be my favorite so far. I'll just say. Yeah, S tier. It's not as good, in my opinion, as Ross Chastain's car. But it's still, wow, amazing. And William Byron's car, yeah, put that in S tier. Right by his teammates. Yeah, it's the middle ground car. it's not nearly as good in my opinion as Kyle Larson's double attempt car that Kyle Larson sadly never got to race. Number 26, yeah, it's high B tier, and you can barely see the patriotism with the car, but the black kind of ruins it. And you might be wondering, well, why am I ranking the black stuff cars so high? It's because they represent the Black Ops military efforts, and they look awesome. And you gotta love that minimalism. Yeah, they're so minimalistic and cool. Okay, so let's see what kind of other cars we have. Number 30. Number 30 is going in low 8s here. But the number 6 one that we forgot, yeah, it's going in S tier. Just right below Kyle Larson's double attempt. That he never got to race. Yeah, the reason why I rank it so high is because it just screams America, and there's so much that, yeah, there's like metallic finish on it. It's really cool. Alright, so that leaves us with number 34, and it's in high A tier. Yeah, it's the Walmart patriotic paint scheme. It looks pretty good. And it's probably the most American of the two, aside from the number 38 car, which goes into low S tier. Alright, so number 41, S tier. Easily the best of the second best of the two. The number 10 has the Winchester Limited sponsorship, and yeah, that's just American, man. Okay, number 43. Well, it has that patriotic flair, but in my opinion, it's not nearly as good as the number 34 Walmart car. And the number 38, yeah, it looks good, but in my opinion, it's not nearly as good as the number 4 Overstock car. And the number 31 is going in S tier, since it just looks the part. You have to make sure you look the part. And number 41, most likely high A tier. Number 41 truck, most likely high A tier. But the number 48, S tier. In my opinion, it's better than William Byron's car. Yeah, so William Byron's the middle one of the bunch. Alex Bowman just has the second best Charlotte Hendrick paint scheme of the bunch. The first best is Kyle Larson's car that he never got to race. Number 54 is another Black Ops car. It's going in S tier. It's actually looks pretty good, but in my opinion, Chris Buescher's and Chase Elliott's cars just look better. Okay, so let's see what's left. The number 27, that's an S tier. It looks better. Yeah, they did a better job with the patriotic paint scheme, in my opinion, than the 31. And number 38, yeah. Yeah, low S tier as well. It just looks amazing. And the number 70, well, we should put the number 39 car in there as well. It's in high A tier. And the number 45, yeah. Low S tier, since it's looks better than. Actually, we'll move up the swap places with the other two cars. Yeah, the truck is high A tier, whereas the number 34 car is low S tier. And that leaves us with 3 left. The number 71 Camaro, the F22 paint scheme. That's going in S tier. Yeah, S tier. And it might be my favorite one of the Charlotte bunch, since it represents the F22 Raptor and would actually be great as an alt mode for a triple changer. I said the number 1 was my favorite, but the number 71 by Spire Motorsports, yeah, it is just awesome. And number 77, on the other hand, well, it's most likely in low S tier, since it has that middle ground between Harrison Burton's car and Austin Dillon's car. And that leaves us with Shane Van Gisbergen's car. Which, yeah, like, I hate to say it, but ranks actually higher than the number 71 car. Yeah, both of them are awesome, but Shane Van Gisbergen's number 97 Chevrolet Camaro, it looks amazing. And it represents the Stealth Bomber. Might be my favorite Xfinity Series patriotic paint scheme. So yeah, those are all the patriotic paint schemes ranked, and not one single one of them went into F tier. So yeah, that's my ranking. And, well, this will probably be my last tier list that I'll do for the year. Well, my last paint scheme tier list that I do for the NASCAR 2024 season, unless I decide to do all of the throwback paint schemes. So yeah, I'm gonna save it and gonna sign off for now. Catch you guys next time, and peace out. Smaller channels are at risk, and every subscriber means a lot to them. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for the latest Racer Cinema Productions videos. And together, we can help drive the YouTube algorithm away from this channel, so that I don't succumb to the fate of other smaller channels getting defeated